What's up, everybody? Welcome to Buzzworthy TV. And I'm the girl, Lady T. And today we are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta, y'all. Listen, so much happened on this episode. And really it was the first 20 minutes that made the whole episode. So I'm not gonna go blah blah blah, but I do have some things that I definitely want to talk about. So let's get into it. So the episode picks back up where we left off with, everybody coming back to the house. Kenya then told Tammy to invite her nephew and his friends back to the house. And it's already starting rocky because Kenya was snapping at Glenn, which is Tammy's cousin. Or nephew, I'm sorry, nephew or whatever. And, he already didn't like the fact that she was snapping at him. And even though she apologized, he was like, well, you need to come up with a better way and all this other stuff. So already, to me, it's a red flag. But however the case, everybody gets there. Candy is all shocked, like, wow, okay, this is what we doing now, y'all bringing people back. And I kind of feel her because that ain't what they usually do. So I was with Candy when she came back, downstairs, and she seen these dudes that she ain't never seen before. I mean, I would think the same thing, like, really? We ain't never done this. And we've always had single people in our circle, and we've never brought people back to the house. So, whatever. So anyway, everybody's outside. Everybody starts playing Never Have I Ever. And so, with that being said, everybody's playing this game, and Kim immediately gets up and calls her husband to check on the kids and to make sure he will fix the SpaghettiOs right. I'm like, Kim, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. You're getting on my nerves. I'm going to need you to take a Xanax, a Valium, or whatever, and just freaking relax. I understand. You're a mom and a wife first. Get that. But anytime you can't go to Miami for a couple of days and just sit back and kick back without being so high strong, something is wrong with you. Anytime you can't trust your husband to make SpaghettiOs for your children, something is wrong. Anytime you cannot leave your kids and have your husband read them a storybook at night, something is wrong. But anyway, so I think you're done playing this game, Never Have I Ever. And no, I'm not going to talk about how disgusting it was that we found out that Phaedra and Sheree and both had experienced the golden shower. My stomach turned. I had to go throw up, so I don't really have much to say about that. So everybody's going out to the jacuzzi. Everybody's out there swimming, relaxing, or whatever. And, Glenn is just acting all sorts of weird. Like, he's sitting up there talking to Candy. And, she really paid him no attention. And he started getting aggressive with her. And, he just... And then Kenya tried to talk to him again. He was just, I don't know, it was just something off about him from the very beginning. And so Candy and Kenya get to talking, and Kenya's just saying, something's a little wrong with him. And Candy agrees, like, yeah, he came at me a little sideways or whatever. So Kenya is like, you know what, I'm going to ask him to leave. But she pulls Tammy to the side and says, hey, nephew Glenn, he's starting to make people feel uncomfortable, so I'm about to ask him to leave. Tammy seems to understand, and she tries to escort Glenn out, saying, hey, it's time to go. Okay. So as he's getting escorted, he's like, why? And then he starts calling, Kenya proceeds to tell him that he's getting removed because he's starting to make herself and other people feel uncomfortable. He puts not even 20 on 10, he puts 30 on 10, okay? And starts calling them all sorts of bitches and all this other stuff. Like, he just proceeds to pop off and starts lunging at Kenya. Security steps in, and he's still lunging at her. Tammy tries to intervene to get him to calm down. He pushes her down. I'm like, what the fuck? You know he ain't no good when he sits up there and tries to harm his supposed family. Because we don't even know if they for real, auntie and nephew, or that's just her, get high buddy that she done hooked up with in Miami. We don't know. But they claim each other as family. So, however the case, he knocking her down, so you know something wrong. So after, that happens, Paul Tammy laid out on the floor. They got to call the ambulance and everything. So he leaves, and Tammy is taken out by the ambulance, and I'm just like, damn. So after that, everybody wants to point the finger at Kenya, and I'm just like, but why though? Like, seriously, why though? Because to me, yeah, Kenya is a shit starter. I have had my issues with Kenya since day one of her showing up on the scene. But to me, these past couple of incidences have not been her fault. Like, the thing on the boat. She didn't even invite Shamia, and she still allowed her on the trip, but Shamia kept talking shit. So, yeah, bitch, get off my boat. You weren't invited anyway. In this situation, yeah, she snapped that old boy, snapping her fingers or whatever, but she apologized. He couldn't take that. He still had a chip on his shoulder, still was aggressive. Then he started being aggressive to Candy, and then when he gets it squared out, he starts lunging at people. Like, for real? Like, come on now. So y'all can't blame this on Kenya. Y'all can't blame this man's crazy ass antics on Kenya. I don't see where she was at fault. Yeah, she's messy, and yeah, she probably was in her feelings a little bit because at first she thought he was fine and kind of a little rough around the edges, and that turns her on or whatever. But to me, that does not justify him just acting all sorts of crazy. And I think her asking him to leave was justified. So anyway, not only that, Cynthia gets all of her feelings, talking about, I just feel so bad for Tammy because I feel as though I invited her here and this is my fault because I brought her into the circle. And, Kenya's just trying to tell her, no, this is not your fault. You can't blame yourself for this man's actions. He pushed her down, not you. And she's like, yeah, but I brought her in here, and if it wasn't for me, this would have never happened. No, she could have been hanging out with this crazy motherfucker at a club, and he could have got into it with somebody and still pushed her ass down. So again, Cynthia, it is not your fault. It's this crazy motherfucker's fault. And that's why Kenya was starting to get aggravated with you, because you just trying to turn this around on you and trying to point the finger at yourself. And she already high strung because all this done happened, and everybody looking at her like, you asked him to leave and it didn't call for all this or whatever. So, yeah, like, Cynthia, stop blaming yourself, and I don't blame Kenya for kind of, like, telling her to shut up. Like, all this is going on, we don't need you to throw a pity party for yourself, And so then, the next day, first of all, Kim's leaving because she feels uncomfortable. This whole, situation made her nerves bad. She need to go to a hotel and then go home the next morning. I'm like, bye, bitch. Please, go home. So, the next day, Candy gets up in the morning, talks to Ty. She's packing up her stuff. She ready to go too. But I understand Candy. Candy is, like she said in the confessional, they worked too hard to conceive this baby or whatever, and she can't do nothing to jeopardize her baby. It got physical, and anything could have happened to her. She could have got caught up in the crossfire. So it's just best for her to go home, like she said. So she packs up and she goes home as well. So after that happens, we got Sheree and Phaedra talking about what happened. And Phaedra wants to turn this conversation into a PSA about police brutality. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm glad Andy Cohen and Bravo want to call attention to all the injustices with the Sandra Bland, Mike Brown case, all that. I get it. But this was not the situation to implement that awareness. First of all, you're talking about innocent people who get beaten and killed by the police. Not someone who popped off and was ready to put his hands on innocent females and security had to escort him out. Huh? That don't go. That is totally two different things. That's comparing apples to oranges. No. Phaedra, sit down. And then you're going to put on these crocodile tears? For what, though? This is not the same situation. You saying you got boys and all this. I get it. You got boys. So, of course, women with African American boys are definitely more sensitive to, police getting involved or security, because people can get overzealous, especially when it comes to dealing with our African American young men. I get it. But and I know that was totally two different situations, and you want to turn this into a bigger situation than what it was because you don't like Kenya. You want to make this seem like they got thrown out by security and it was like some type of police brutality. It was not. So sit down. And Sheree, I would go off on you too, but I know you was just sitting there listening to Phaedra so you can get your camera time. So get it how you live. I don't got shit to say to you. So anyway, then, the girls go out sightseeing. They rent these little Hummers or whatever, and they, ride around Miami. It was cute. And then Portia, she done got rid of Duke. I saw that coming a mile away. I knew once Duke got surprised with that party, that he was never coming back. You could tell all over his face that he was not here for that party and that little award ceremony. And he was just trying to save face for the camera. But he was about to exit stage left. And I knew it already. So I was not surprised. So anyway, she's on the prowl again. She met this dude. I forgot his name. But, she's getting all ready for this date or whatever. And they have a pretty nice time. They get to talking and, she's being extra flirty. And she likes him or whatever. Like I said, it was a cute little date. So, and then that night when she comes home, everybody, tries to wait up for her so they can get the details. And she let everybody know, she had a good time. It was cool, whatever, however. So, back in Atlanta, we got Kim and Chris talking about what happened in Miami. And Kim is, telling her husband, like, it seemed to her that Kim wanted to edge on the situation. She understands that Glenn popped off, but she's saying that Kenya could have handled it better. She could have just, said, hey, everybody, it's getting late. Let's all just turn in. We'll talk to you guys later. However, whatever. Okay. Could she have done that? Yes. Yes. I'm not going to say that she couldn't have said that and it probably would have turned out differently. And like I said, was she, determined to kind of not cut him any slack because she liked him and he seemed to kind of not really respond to her? Yes. And I've dealt with people like her before. So I know what it is. I see right through Kenya. But with that being said, Kenya did the right thing. Kenya absolutely did the right thing. Because, yeah, she was a little salty that he wasn't paying her no attention or whatever. But she was prepared to still deal with him. But when she found out it wasn't just her, she was like, okay, look, you got to go. And still her saying he got to go still don't justify him shoving Tammy out the way when she trying to calm him down, calling these women all sorts of bitches, lunging at Kenya. None of that justifies that, okay? So whatever, it still don't justify what Glenn did. So Kim, you need to sit down and just shut up and just collect your residuals from the facts of life and living single, because I'm not here for that. And oh my God, I'm telling you, her wig in the confessional scared me. That silver platinum, I don't know what the hell that shit was she had on top of her head. It scared the hell out of me. I don't know, because like sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, I'm half watching it. But last night I was like seriously watching it, because I actually got a chance to watch it when it first came on at 8, and then watch the, when it rerun back at 10 or whatever. But by that time I'll be ready to go to sleep. But yeah, so I watched it the first time, and I know y'all like that, you just not seeing that monstrosity of a wig. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm so late. But, she was looking all normal to me. When she was talking to Chris, had her little hair up in a little ponytail or whatever, curly little blonde hair, okay. But when she was in the confessional and she had that platinum bush on her head, I wanted to scream. It scared me. But anyway, Kim, sit down. I can't with you and all this Kenya trying to escalate the situation. No, she did what she was supposed to do, because obviously this man had way more than a screw loose, okay? So, and then, Candy was talking to Todd. First of all, Todd and his daughter were playing pool, and she was letting him know that, hey, she wants to go to New York for the holiday and that she got a boyfriend or whatever. And so Candy goes down there to the basement and watch them play pool, and she lets Todd know that, her and Phaedra are at a good space, and that, they had fun, because Phaedra, unlike Kim, let her hair down and was just there to have fun, and they had a nice little time. Even though I agree with Candy, Phaedra has two sides. She has, like I like to call, the first lady complex, and then she has her thought complex. There's no middle ground with Phaedra, okay? So, but at least she can let her hair down. So, she's saying that she's glad her and Phaedra's in a better place now. She just want Phaedra to settle the money issues that she has with Todd. And I'm like, see, this is the problem why y'all can't get your friendship back on track. Y'all be in a good place, but in the back of y'all mind, y'all be holding on to shit. And then the shit escalates later on. Instead of y'all just getting it all out. Y'all supposed to be in a good space, but you still holding on to the fact that she owe him money. Well, look, I understand. Because if somebody owe my man money, I feel some sort of way too. That's why, Phaedra, you don't need to pay that man his money so y'all can move forward. But, Candy, once again, once she pay this man's money, you need to move on and y'all need to be cool. Same thing with you, Phaedra. Once you pay this man his money, I don't want to hear no more about how they took Apollo's side. Y'all just need to move the hell on. So anyway, the episode ends with Kim and Kenya sitting down to talk. And basically, Kim wants Kenya to know, like, look, I left not because, I miss my husband and my children. I left because I thought that altercation was a little too much and it could have been avoided. And, Kenya was like, how are you going to blame me for this man's actions? He the one who lost all sorts of control. And again, I'm like, exactly. And Kim is just like, yeah, but you always keep stuff going. And you're not going to really make me think no different. And I'm like, Kim says she's never watched this show. But, bitch, you watched the show. Because to me, it seemed like you had a lot of preconceived notions about Kenya before you even got on this show. Because, again, I believe you watched the show and you just trying to put on these airs like you be in La La Land. You watched the show. You had these preconceived notions because Kenya can be messy. So you just ready to just throw Kenya under the bus every single time. And I think that's the problem with everybody. Everybody knows that Kenya can be messy, so they ready to automatically just assume the worst. But this time, this was not Kenya's fault, and Kim just needs to sit down and go play with her kids. And, Kenya didn't feed into it. She was just like, you know what? I like you. And, they agreed to move forward. They both, said what they said. Like Kim said, I don't have no problems with you, as long as we can discuss this as two grown women and squash it, we good. So basically, that's how the episode ends. Next week seems like it's going to be good too. Please do not forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, peace and love.